Howdy, this is David with Sacred Clown Tarot, hopping in today to do a message for Aquarius. So I've already pre-shuffled, but I am laying the cards out for y'all. This is a 5-card spread that I do, and then we get the underlying message for you, Aquarius, okay? Today, underlying card is Temperance. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare there, but you can take a more insightful peek. And that is the daughter of the reconcilers, Temperance energy. I'm gonna tap into that underlying energy for you, and we'll see what it wants to say for you, okay? That's 14 in the major arcana for you as a reference point. Sorry about that little burp action. I see this as a breath of fresh air. That's the initial feeling that comes to mind for me. But also, like, it's a sense of peace restored for you after a good amount of trials and tribulations, so to speak. But take a closer look at this, right? Nope. Let me do it over here because that feels better for me. All right. Look at all the details that are going into that. So at the center, you have the Merkaba, which is kind of like the soul's vehicle, so to speak. And typically with Temperance, you have 2 cups of water going into a stream or a little pond or whatnot from an angel. This one does have water, but it also has lightning. So this is more so getting to, like, I use often, but like the alchemical process of, you know, mixing 2 different ingredients together and finding the harmony across different fields of influence. Let's use that term for you. But we're not going to overthink that one because that's just the underlying current that you're feeling, but there's a steadiness coming in. But like there's a lot of chaos that you still see in this picture. And I think, why do I have to, the camera is a little like over here because I have my phone on my side. I'm getting thrown off. But there's a lot of chaos in that picture, and you got the cat-like bowl down at the bottom, which looks to be just screaming. So there's been a lot of chaos. There's been a lot of stuff going on, but we're finding balance. And that's the important thing for you, Aquarius, all right? Won't harp on that too long. We'll dive into the other messages for you because we're already 3 minutes in. First card is the 10 of Pentacles. Fuck yeah, okay. Lord of Wealth. 10 of Pentacles is what we're starting off with there. Aquarius. Lord of Wealth. Excellent card. Next up, we have... Well, that's silly. I shuffled this into... This is just the card. So that's a little silly banana sauce. I don't know how that got started in there. Oh, I'm looking so unprofessional. All right, hold on. So, in lieu of this, or pulling a random card, it's all meant to be. It's all a part of the show. 8 of Pentacles is the second card out. We'll take this one with a grain of salt, okay? Because I should have been a little bit better. But 8 of Pentacles is the next one out. We'll see what that wants to convey. In the middle, we have 8 of Wands, so more 8 themes. That is the Lord of Swiftness. 8 of Wands there at the heart of the reading, right in the middle. 4th card out, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of the Thrones of Earth. Take a look at that. These are all very highly detailed cards. This is the Hermetic Tarot. And last card out, 5th card, we have the King of Cups. So highly potent energy for you. All right, King of Cups there to round us out. Let's dive in. All right, so starting with the 10 of Pentacles for you there, Aquarius. Let's see what it wants to say. Again, this is the Lord of Wealth. I'm so proud of you. So this speaks to, as you know, if you're familiar with Ten of Pentacles in the tarot in general, Ten of Pentacles is opulence. It's like blessings on a material plane, like everything kind of coming together, like kind of having your cake and eating it too a little bit. All the material needs that you might need coming in for you. The foundation is laid, the home is built, the castle is built, the empire is built, the family lineage is taken care of. And what I sense with this, the sentimentality for you, Aquarius, is that I don't know if this has arrived yet. If it has, congratulations. But more so for you, what I'm getting the vibe of is that you can finally see this as being possible. Because like Ten of Pentacles can very much be like dreams coming true. I see that also with like Ten of Cups. That's almost like emotional fulfillment in every aspect of life. Like I have a big happy family, all the love, all the happiness in the world. Ten of Pentacles is that, but in a more material sense. For you, I sense that this is like, there's a time in your life where you felt like you couldn't have all the things that you wished for in this world, but you're starting to see how you can actually make it happen, and that your actions, the efforts that you've been putting forward, can actually deliver that to you. So while I don't think this is here at this moment in time, if it is, congratulations. If it is, you probably don't need to hear much from me. But I feel and see this more so as like you recognize and honor the potential of what can be brought to the table now. Whereas before I thought you probably thought that it was impossible, or that you were silly for dreaming of these things possibly ever coming true for you in this reality of Earth that we're so currently living in. I think you're realizing that it can be made manifest, that it can be actualized, that it can come in for you, and that you're on the pathway to making it happen. So congratulations. That's what I feel for you. You have a couple flowers in full bloom, and you have all the pentacles represented there in their full disc. So this is about as beautiful of like a storytelling as you can have for a presence here on this earth. And I think you can see it. You can see it. You're feeling it in your radar. You're seeing it down the road. And to be able to see it, you know, in sight is a promise that it's on its way, so to speak. Like, I don't know, it's like if you're driving for a long time, you're going on a cross-country road trip, and you're like, when are we gonna get there? And like you finally get to the state or the town or the location, like you're in that vicinity where you know you wanna be. It's like, I don't know, if I'm from Connecticut, so I'm trying to think about like if I'm trying to get to Florida, driving all the way down, and you finally cross the line from Georgia into Florida, it's like, all right, I'm in Florida. I might not be at the exact destination in Florida that I want to be. Maybe that's Miami, maybe that's Naples, Orlando, wherever it may be, but at least I'm in Florida. You know what I mean? I've made it to Florida. I have no desire to ever go to Florida, but that's just the example I'm using this because I'm far from there now, and I'm just trying to expand upon a journey. Anyway, 8 minutes in. Need to get on to the second card. 8 of Pentacles. All right, this is the Lord of Prudence for you. Okay, we'll tap into that. All right, I think this reading is reading out in like a reverse cognition, so to speak. This is what you can see down the road, and you're accepting the fact that you can have the 10 of Pentacles. As it sits, or as how it's looked leading up to this point, very much an 8 of Pentacles energy. All right? Which is like planting seeds, tending to things, working hard, getting enough of a payoff where you're satisfied with the work that you're doing, but it not being enough where you've hit the 10 of Pentacles, or you've even hit the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is that independence, that material independence, being like self-gratified in your work and your efforts, and kind of finding yourself made actualized in your efforts, in your work, in your accomplishments. And 10 of Pentacles is like, I can share it with everybody. Everybody knows that they can kind of take from some of my wealth and I'll still be okay, and they'll be okay. 8 of Pentacles is like, we're not quite there yet, But like, that's where it has been for you up until this point. A lot of efforts being put in, getting enough to get by, but not feeling fully actualized in your efforts. You see with these flowers, they're on the root there, and they have, if you look very closely, you have little thorns. So there's still some prickly little bits about the work that you're doing. Some things that are kind of pissing you off, that are still kind of annoying. You can't have the rose without the thorns kind of a vibe. But the roses are blooming, the flowers are blooming, all the flowers that are present there are blooming, and they're looking upward towards the sun, but it's not quite the picture that you want it to be. So that's the little example I'm getting from 2. So that's what it's been. At the center here, we have the 8 of Wands, which is the Lord of Swiftness. All right. I'm gonna tap into this, see what it means for you there, Aquarius. Two words prominent: heed and action. I think you've been able to heed the opportunities that come your way. When you come across something that needs to be done, you recognize the opportunity for what it is. Every opportunity that comes to you, you're taking action on it. There's a swiftness to you. There's a grace in combination with your efforts. And that's where I think the word swiftness is kind of coming in. You've been through enough trials and tribulations. You've made the wrong choices enough to have exercise and kind of be a little bit more sharp with your decision making. So now when opportunities come across your table or come across your, your vantage point, you know when to strike. I feel like this is kind of developing the sense of being accurate, almost as like an archer. Like, you're very good at hitting your mark now. Like, even if it's like moving targets, like, you're able to hit the bullseye. Like, you know when to pinpoint things as it comes across your vision, across your scope. And you're much more on the ball when it comes to your work and your generalized efforts. There's no dilly-dallying anymore. There's no laziness. You are kind of just with it and in it. And you're getting after it, which I can appreciate. Your efforts are leading and culminating to something greater. And I think those 8s are going hand in hand. 8 is often seen as a card of abundance and also like infinite potential, because the 8 is kind of like the infinity sign. So I think these double 8s coming up together kind of are reverberating off of one another. So like the physical manifestations in the 8 of Pentacles, the work that's put in culmination with the passion, the vigor, the drive that you've now culminated for yourself, are what's leading to these future opportunities and you more so hitting your mark, going forward with everything that comes across your table, so to speak, or your worldview. Everything that comes across, you're able to bang it out with no problem. And I think that is what brings in these 2 other energies that we now will address. 4th card is the Queen of Pentacles. All right, so you can take a nice look at that. Pause it if you need to. This is the Queen of the Thrones of Earth. All right, so we're going to check into this energy, see what it wants to say to you there. I think for you, Aquarius, this is your female manifestation, of at least a reference point for how you're being seen or how you're acting in this world. And this is with a very grounded feminine energy. Queen of the Thrones of the Earth. You are finding a place to rest in your energy. It's like kind of being awarded the throne or the title of queen and then accepting it with grace and excellence, and recognizing your own sovereignty, recognizing your connection to these worldly pursuits that you've been on, and seeing your investments pay off and having confidence in your accomplishments. For a while, it felt like you were working, probably for nothing. But now it's like you can actually pinpoint your successes. You can say, I put this amount of work into this, and this is the payoff. This other project, I worked X amount of hours, or I invested this amount of time, energy, ideas into this, and this is how I pay it off. And you're moving from one opportunity to another, and you're seeing the payoffs, and you're taking pride in your actions because you know what the payoffs are, and those payoffs are indicative of the human that you become. And they're almost like bullet points on a resume for all of your efforts up until this point. And I think the Queen of Pentacles is indicative of how your feminine energy has materialized. You feel more connected with the earth. You feel better with your toes in the dirt. I don't know if that means you work with plants or work out in nature, but you are finding one in balance with the earth around you. Whereas maybe before that was a little bit nebulous, you felt like you couldn't connect, you couldn't feel grounded, but this feminine energy that you would exude and embody is materializing, and it's in a holistic way, in a balanced way, that makes you feel more connected with this earth. And I have a feeling like you felt like the world didn't have opportunities for you before, and now it does. And your conviction, your work ethic is paying off in a way that like you see the beauty in too, and everybody sees the beauty in how you work and what you reap, if that makes any sense for you. Okay, King of Cups, the last card for us. All right, and then this is the Prince of the Chariot of Waters. So I'm going to tap into this energy for you there, Aquarius. This one's really quick. I feel the terms that came to mind were emotional maturity and grace. So whereas I think your masculine energy might have been once fixated on your efforts and where you're putting them, and maybe like overpowering certain things with your masculine energy, I feel like you're finding the harmonics with your masculine energy and how it relates to emotions. I feel like you probably once upon a time used masculine energy to assert and to maybe try to dominate, or to at least make sure your point was heard. But you don't have to assert anymore. I think there's enough confidence and conviction, composure with how you handle your emotions now, that your words come through strongly without you ever really needing to force or to pry or to push. I think because of this balance, this temperance, and I think the temperance is kind of alluding to these two ultimate cards that you end up with here. This is the masculine and this is the feminine aspects, which are both in the more feminine line because they're water and earth. But this is how it manifests for you. These are just your reference points, all right? It's not to say that you don't have a lick of air to you or fire. Those are found in other places, obviously. You are an air sign, but you're Aquarius, which is the water bearer. So, you know, not everything's perfect. But this is just composure and sweetness. This is like, I don't know, having like a big brother or a father or an uncle who you feel comfortable talking to, confiding in. It's like that kind of energy, like a male figure who you can find harmony with, who you can joke with, who will listen to you and give you proper feedback. And that's the grace that kind of comes in with this. And I think that's what brings around the temperance energy for you. So these two in tandem, finding solace, finding balance in those, is what brings you the 10 of Cups, Aquarius. All right? I hope that made sense to you. You're doing great. I don't want to like throw in more details than this because it just convoluted. But meditate on that. I think you're doing great. I think you've built up a lot of work for yourself to the point where you can take pride in your accomplishments. And you know that the end is in sight and that you can have everything you dream of. And I can't imagine a more beautiful message for you at this time, Aquarius. All the love in the world to you. Keep on killing it. Fuck shit up in the best way. And we'll talk again soon. Much love, Aquarius. Bye.